Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is part 7 of Let's Get Cooking, the series in which we are looking into different cooking game mechanics. In the last episode we completed our toaster. We got it to toast bread, pop up and down, just like a toaster you have at home. I did say that we'll probably be looking at things like spreading butter, etc. on our toast today, but I decided that later on in the game, we're going to be using the game manager, which is going to handle a lot of that, or a lot of code related to that. So it would be advisable to get that implemented first. And to do that, we're going to be using data assets for recipes. And I'm using 5.7 preview, and they've discontinued a blueprint node called get all data assets of class, but we can expose that to blueprints ourselves via C++. I also want to make a node like get player character, get game instance, etc., where we can get our game manager, which we're going to call kitchen manager, from any blueprint that we like, and then just run an interface off it, just like you would do for get player character or get game instance, as we have done before. So to do that, we will have to convert our blueprints only project to C++. Now I know for many of you starting off in here, you don't particularly cherish the thought of using C++. Don't worry, I'm going to supply you the code. I'm going to run through it in today's video of how you can implement it into your game without too much problems. So let's go ahead, and the first thing is we need to convert our project to a C++ project. Sounds scary, sounds difficult, but actually it's very, very easy. All we do is go to our very top bar here, click on Tools, and add a new C++ class. In our case, we're going to add a class of an actor because we're going to be adding the kitchen manager one first, or the game manager one first. And I'm going to call it a kitchen manager. Just like that. But I'm going to put a capital M just to capital M just to separate words. We want it to be public because we want to be able to access this from anywhere. And you see it's going to make up these folders and add it to here. So we're going to click on create class, and it says adding code to project. This project now includes sources. Please close the editor and build it from your IDE. So we can click OK on that. We're going to say yes to this one. Like that, and it will open up our editor, whichever editor you have set in your preferences. For you, probably Visual Studio, but I'm using Rider just because it's personal preferences. This will take a moment or two to load up, especially loading the project, depending on how big your project actually is. So it does take a while. So while it's doing that, I'm just going to go ahead and pause the video, and I'll be right back with you. In fact, actually, it's doing it very quickly. Oh, no, let's wait. It's almost done here, look. So you will see, while we're waiting for that, you will see it's made up two files for us. akitchenmanager.h and akitchenmanager.cpp. We're not going to add any code to these today. These are just going to be used, this is going to be used as a class to make a child class of that we're going to add to the world later. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close my Unreal Editor at this stage. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and hit build in my project. It's going to create the project files, and it's going to build it. Depending on, again, the size of your project, initially it might take a long while. Let's see. The first one is always the longest. Okay, it looks like it might take a little while. So while it's building this, I'm going to pause the video and I'll get right back to you when this is built. Okay, so now you see it did take quite a long while, 131 seconds, 2 minutes for me, but it's completed and result succeeded, which is what we want to see. Yeah. So once we've built that, we can go ahead, just minimize this for a moment, and we can go ahead and open up our project. I'm going to open it up from here. Easy for me. I'm just going to search by first one. We've got so many projects. Nothing here. Get the right one, which is this one. Okay, so hopefully your project will be the same. It will open up successfully. And if we scroll down and look at our content, we see it's now added a new folder here called C++ classes. If we click on that, as the name of your project, public folder, and here's our kitchen manager that we've just made. Okay. So what we're going to do is straight away, we're going to go ahead and go back to our tools. We're going to add a new C++ class. And this is the one that's going to do all the work. We're going to scroll down until we come to a blueprint function library. I'm going to select that. And we're going to change the name, and I'm going to call it CC for Crazy Cooking. Blueprint library, make sure it's public. Create the class. Now you shouldn't get any warnings now because it's already a C++ class. It'll open up your IDE again. Everything should be hunky-dory. So now you'll find it's made 2 more folder files, C++ and a .h. I'm going to put these in order so that it makes more sense. A .h file that includes, and a C++ file. These are where we're going to do the work. I will be giving you the code, but there are caveats and things you need to be aware of when you are adding the code. I sort of recommend you type it out rather than copy and paste, as copy and paste can often cause you a problem. But it's up to you, as long as you're confident enough to sort out the problems. And as there are things to be aware of, I will point them out to you. So you'll get these files here in the link that I'll be putting in the description, and you can open them up. And I'm using Notepad++ because it gives you the color definition and it's a little bit more helpful. It's more programmed as Notepad. But I'm pretty sure you can open them in Notepad also. So the C++ function library.h. This is the one that we're going to do. You can see here we have 5 different includes. Whereas in our one, we've only got 3. So we need to add some more. We need to add our kitchen manager one. And we also need to add this data asset one. Okay, the data asset one we can copy. Okay. You can directly copy that. Now be aware you should put all new includes above the generated.h file here. So go to the end of the one before it and paste that in there. You should, if it doesn't show any red or any problems, you'll be fine. Now next one we need to include ourselves. So type in include. Quotation marks. And it's called, you can just start kitchen manager. Now it's a kitchen manager.a, not the generated one. You see it immediately goes grey because it's unused at the moment. Okay, but we will be using it later on. Okay, so we've done that, and you will also see we have in this one here, we have this class uKitchen Manager. Okay, you can go ahead and copy that as a whole. Make sure you've got that. You can add it in there, and you put it below the last one. And I would like to leave a space, and it gives us a name for that. Okay, it makes this class for us. Right, so the thing to be aware of is this line here that was made for us by Unreal. Do not change it, okay, because this points to your project, the name of the functions library, and the fact that it's public function library. Do not change this, okay, only change code below this. All right. Generated body must be there, so do not delete that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to copy some of these functions. So we're going to copy the public, and we're going to copy the first one here. We're going to copy that. Give ourselves some space, paste that in there. As long as nothing is red or nothing is showing up bad, if it's grayed out, it's okay. It just means it's a name, not a problem. You're happy. We're happy with that, okay? Now go to the end of that line, press enter. And I like to leave a space, so I'll press enter again. Now this one we're going to have to be a little careful with because of the naming in here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just copy the first two lines, and the last line we're going to type in and let our IDE help us a little bit. So we're going to copy in that. Again, this is grayed out because we haven't yet got anything below it. Press enter, and then we're going to copy basically what this says, but we're going to, for some of our naming, we're going to use our IDE to help us. I'm just going to move this across the screen. So first of all, it says static space A, and if we look here, here's our kitchen manager, it's AA, so we need to make sure we use that. Get kitchen manager, that's fine. In my case, I can just do this. And then we write in const in the brackets, space, u object. Again, you'll see this in the file, so don't panic if you're not getting it straight away. Star or multiply, then world, context, context, object. Close bracket. Okay, and then colon. And you should see that that's absolutely fine, there's no problems. So we now have our functions declared here. Blueprint callable means it's callable in blueprints. Blueprint pure means it's callable in blueprints, but it's also a pure function. The little green ones that we often see in things like get player character, so on and so forth. Okay, so we're done here. We have all of our things here, and now you'll see our kitchen manager is now not grayed out because we are using it here. Okay. Now we're going to go to our CPP file, and you see here we've only got one include, but if I drag ours on here, we have many. Okay, and in this case it doesn't matter they don't have to be in front of this one. It's okay to do it behind. You can go ahead. These are standardized Unreal includes. So these last 4, 5, we can go ahead and copy and Control-V paste. I'd like to do that to me here. And you see 2 of them are grayed out because, again, we're not using them as yet. Okay. Now, at the moment, we don't have these functions defined in here. This is one of the reasons why I like using Rider, because I can click on the function, click on the little hammer here, and it says generate definition. It lets it do it. Immediately, it shows an error. You don't worry about that error because it's basically it's waiting for some code to be added. So we can go ahead and add some code. Now again, be careful that you do not change the first line of this, okay? Because this is generated by your IDE and it's specific for your, how you've named it and your particular project. Anything below that we can change. So you can go ahead from this curly bracket down, you can scroll down all the way down to just before that one where it says return result. We can copy. Shouldn't be anything in this one that causes us a problem. Let's find out. You got that there. Press enter and paste it in there. And you see everything is fine. The red is gone. Great. Go back to your C++ header, or whichever way you need to do it in your IDE. And we're going to generate the definition. We've got a problem here. Okay, we'll look at that in a moment. Now this one we may have to be a little bit careful with, so I'm going to copy and paste it and show you what we may need to do. So go to your function library again, do not change that line. Copy from the if down to the null pointer. It's probably going to throw up errors on here because it should be AA, but we'll look at that in a moment. Control-C to copy. Just like we did last time, press enter, Control-V to paste. Okay, so it doesn't like them, which is what I suspected. Not a big problem. Find it, we just probably got another A there. And another A there. The problem goes away. Okay, so it's all looking good. We've got no warnings, we've got green ticks, everything's looking good. We can try for a compile. Now, because we've got our Unreal open, it will be the live compile. If you've got problems with the live console, close your Unreal and then compile it manually. I'm going to click build and you see it starting the live terminal. The thing you've got to remember with live terminal is always make sure that you save your file before closing your IDE, because it doesn't save the changes, it just live codes them. So if you don't save them, next time to rebuild it, and it's a pain. So we're going to go ahead and let it compile. Again, it may take a while because we've done some code changes. I'll get back to you once we're compiled. Okay, so you'll see now it says successfully linked patch, patch creation, live, and down here it says hello, it says warning, it says live code succeeded. Okay, so we're happy with that. We can close the live code console. I like to just go ahead, double check, save all on here. You can go ahead now and close your IDE, we're done with it. Okay, we're back in our project. Now, if we open up your content drawer, we go back to our C++ classes, you'll see we now have 2 items in here. two that we made. Great. First thing I'd like you to do is to go to your Kitchen Manager one, right click on it and look at Create Blueprint Cast based on a Kitchen Manager. And I'm just going to rename this to BP_Kitchen Manager. See where you want it. So we can put it in our Crazy Cooking, our Blueprints, and I'm going to put it in our Core Blueprints folder. And click Create Cast. And it opens it up here. Compile and save. Make sure. Okay, some of my settings have got changed because I've redone the video, so I had to delete this because I wasn't happy with the video before, it was too long. So here's our Kitchen Manager now, which is what we're going to be using. And if we go back to our core, let's do it properly. I'm just going to add Crazy Cooking to the favorites because I had to redo some of the stuff. I'm going to change the color back to green. Okay. Just so I know where it is. Okay, so we go back to our Blueprints folder, our Core Blueprints, and here's our Kitchen Manager. All we're going to do at this point is literally going to drag it and drop it anywhere you like in the world. It can be outside your building if you don't want to keep seeing it, or you can put it there. It's just got to be there. Okay. So what do these new functions do? Let's see if they work. So open up any blueprint, anything you like. I'm going to open up the character in this case for testing. Find yourself some blank space, right click and type in Get Kitchen, and you see it says Managers, Get Kitchen Manager, and here it is. So off of here we can then use interfaces to run whatever code we want on our Kitchen Manager. Ideal. So that one works. The next one is get asset, get data asset of cast. And you see the one that says assets. And here is our new one. It says game. You can put your full folder thing after that, but just game is going to work for us, and when we use it, we'll explain it. And if you actually type in the name of our data asset, here they are, our appliances, base ingredients, and it will return an alphabetically listed order of our data assets. So when we're doing like a menu list, we can have it in an alphabetical order, which is absolutely great. Okay, we don't need this in here. We can delete those. Compile. I'm going to call it here. Just a little bit of a shorter video. I did do it before where I hand typed all of the code, and I realized it was too long and tedious because my typing skills are not that quick. So I decided to remake it so that we can copy and paste and what to be careful of. If you've got any queries, please don't hesitate to ask me in comments. I'm happy to answer any queries. Join my Discord. If you like my content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you really like my content, consider joining my Patreon or buying me a coffee. Every little helps, and it all goes to help me improve my channel. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. See you next time.